sound check, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what's going to happen today. So I got all these cool action figures to open. I'll be having a nice long video shoot of opening all these figures and talking about them and going through my top 11. And I don't know, these origins have been so cool. I just have really liked and enjoyed how cool these origins figures are. Mattel, you knocked it out of the park. And so I'm pretty excited about all these figures. Hey, Master Far, thanks for joining us, man. Let me go and see if my sound is working. There we go, it is. Cool. Where do you get the toys? That is an excellent question, Master Far. I actually got all of these on Big Bad Toy Store. That's where I got the majority of them. And I am really happy because I finally got my top 11. These have not been opened yet. So, and then we're going to try his stuff on Stratos to see the difference in them. So I have an extra set sitting right here that I pulled off of one before with the red wings and the blue backpack ready to go just for Stratos. So that will be cool. All right. So let's see how many people we got online. We got 6. So let's go ahead and get started. Hey, Big Jim joined us. Sledge Master. Thanks for joining us, man. So let's go ahead and start opening these. So first of all, this is my go-to He-Man. So this is the top one of my favorites, number 1. And this was actually from the 2-pack, and you can tell because he has the boot knife. That's one way you can tell he's from the 2-pack. And of course he has a different head you can swap out in different hands as well. The sword I made by taking a classic sword from Hero 2. And sanding down this right here by putting this in a drill motor with some tape and spinning it and holding some sandpaper on here to make it fit in He-Man's hand with little to no problem. So there you go. That is the number 1. And you can see my box I'm setting up here to put my top 11 in once I have them all. And that will be my go-to box that I'll grab when I want to do that. Yeah, people have actually wondered a lot about it. What's crazy is if you go to Walmart.com and look at the He-Man figure they have on there, you'll see a little slit right here on the side because they used this He-Man figure to sell this He-Man figure. And it's kind of annoying because they didn't put the knife in there because he didn't come with the knife, obviously, but you can still see the slit. And you can also see other things too, like he has the wrong sword, I believe, in his hand and the wrong axe. This axe has paint on it where the normal axe that comes with that He-Man does not have the silver paint on the blades. So there's just little details like that that's slightly different. Also, this is shiny, and the one that comes in the package is dull because it let me turn this light off. Because it's painted instead of being plastic. So you can kind of see the difference. Not shiny, it's matte, and this one's shiny because it's the actual color plastic. Anyway, I'll go and set them aside back in my box of 11. And let's go ahead and get started on the grand opening. Are your signals going in and out? Well, hopefully it will last, but if not, you can always come back and watch it afterwards. So I'm going to open these from reverse order from least liked to favorite. So that way I can be kind of a build up as we go. So don't hate me, but my least liked figure is Hordak. Bum, bum, bum. I almost did not even order Hordak. I was really debating back and forth. Should I get Hordak? Should I not get Hordak? So a couple reasons why I'm not a fan of Hordak. One, to me, he feels like a Skeletor ripoff. It looks like his face is kind of bone face, like Skeletor kind of. And the original had him blue like in the cartoon. And we know Skeletor's blue with a skull-looking face. And it just looked like they just repurposed Skeletor and made him more ruthless. But I decided to get Hordak because, as you guys know, I'm a huge fan of She-Ra. And, of course, you can't have She-Ra fighting Skeletor all the time. Sometimes she has to fight her own baddie, which is Hordak, even though, he is not one of my favorite figures. There we go. There's my cool She-Ra. She-Ra. Anyway. Hey, JB. Thanks. I appreciate that. So let's go ahead and open up Hordak and see. And what's with the red teeth? What is with the red teeth? I mean, I know they talk about that if you have too much iron in your system, your teeth can potentially turn red, but that's just crazy. So here's the back of the box, and I gotta admit the artwork is amazing, and it shows him opening up some kind of portal where you can see Castle Grayskull. And of course, they always show these two sides of the castle, because this is the sides you get when you buy it. You get the front, and you get this side, but you don't get the other two sides. So you'll see that in posters and other things when they show artwork of Castle Grayskull. It usually shows the front and that one side over and over again. It's kind of funny. It's very rare to see the other side. And it shows he has the crossbow like we had in the 80s toy. And of course he swivels and twists so he can do the twist. Do the twist. Anyway, other figures in the line. We got He-Man, Stratos, Hordak, Skeletor, Tri-Klops, and Ninjor. So let's go ahead and open him up. Let me just rip this right open. Let me aim that a little differently. Whoop, there we go. Oh, he has directions. Just in case you did not know how to use Hordak, here is his directions, and it tells you what the removable parts are. Now, here's what's interesting. It says removable parts and shows them in gray, and it shows the boots, the arms, the head, and then it shows the loincloth, which would almost make you think the legs come off here as well. I don't think these figures were intended to have the legs come off at this point. And it's funny is it doesn't show the armor being removable. So Mattel, cool you made this, but instead of removable parts, maybe you should do removable joints of showing where the parts remove at. Because technically, you know, you're not showing that the legs are still attached to this or where the separation points are. So, but that is cool. You're getting closer. I appreciate the effort. Oh, sneak attack. Sneak attack. The artwork is always amazing on these. Whoever does this, awesome job. I can't even say pack into these couple pages of comics. I have to admit, that is a cool picture of Hordak. Why didn't they make his face look like that? Look at the difference. That would have been an awesome Hordak face to make. More whitish. You know, the glowing red eyes. Oh well. All right. Cool. I got some questions coming in. Let's take a look. Just a selling point to buy Skeletor and open the castle. Yep, that is funny, man. I noticed that He-Man is holding the axe on the back of the package. When I was a kid, I played He-Man and his axe. At what point did the sword become the focus, and why did Skeletor have one? Yep. As you guys know, originally the toys had the dual sword. And a lot of the storylines had Skeletor's sword that would merge with He-Man's sword and become the sword of power that would actually open up Castle Grayskull and reveal the secrets inside the castle and channel the power. The power! So, let me pull out this He-Man for a minute. And so you can see when these two swords combine, ta-da! Now Skeletor has ultimate power, and he can open the castle, learn the secrets, channel the power. And I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about how I envision He-Man and how these power swords come into play. So for right now, let's set these aside with the swords. We'll put Skeletor back in the top 11 box and put this extra He-Man back in the box. It is a cool head, though. Look at that. Anyway, back in the extra box for you. Let's go ahead and continue opening up Hordak. I don't know. It just bugs me about Hordak. It like takes away from Skeletor, you know, because Skeletor is the main baddie, and then all of a sudden they introduce Hordak, and he's a bigger baddie than Skeletor, and it makes Skeletor kind of a lesser bad guy. And I just, you know, I don't know. It just always bothered me that they tried to replace him. And Hordak and the Evil Horde, if you look at them, they're all basically universal monsters, right? So we got this guy here. We got Hordak. And of course his teeth are red, which I imagine probably is supposed to be like from sucking blood or something. And that would give him more iron in his system too from drinking people's blood. So then his teeth are red. And so he's like Dracula. He's got the cape. He's got the bat. He is our Dracula from Universal Monsters. And if you take a look at all of them, they all have a Universal Monsters feel to them. All right, so let's try to pull off his head. There we go. And his arms, like it shows in the package. His arms still go down deep inside there. His armor is kind of a soft, rubbery armor. That's kind of cool. It's something new instead of the hard plastic. And he has the gray torso. And his legs can come off if you heat them up like I showed you guys before. And, of course, the boots are removable. And the waist comes apart, too. So, cool, cool, cool. I like the shade of gray they used on him. It's really dark. It's darker than some of the grays I've seen before. I have seen Hordaks this dark before, but I've also seen the lighter Hordaks in Classics, both darker and lighter. In fact, it kind of stinks is when they had the saw blade, buzz blade, what's his name? I don't know. The Hordak that has the blade that pops out of his chest, and the one that has the arm that spins. Their grays are two different grays. So to mix them, which I did for one of my figures for my cool customs, you have to actually paint one of the arm pieces to match the grays. But we'll see in the future when they release the other Hordaks they have coming. They have some kind of, you know, more expensive Hordak coming out that I already have on my list for a Big Bad Toy Store. We'll see if they use the same color gray or not. Now, one thing that's kind of cool is they got rid of the vinyl cape from the 80s. They gave us a nice rubber cape that's kind of flexible. And he has ankle articulation, knee articulation, of course the boot cut because the boots come off. So, there's one cool thing you can do with this Skeletor. Or not Skeletor. See, I'm even calling him Skeletor. With this Hordak, which is kind of fun, is you can turn him into a Horde Apprentice Skeletor. Bum, bum, bum. Let me go ahead and find an extra Skeletor head in this pile of stuff. Oh, I just bring it up here. Let's see, here's the figures that did not make the top 11. They're in the Grayskull battle ring. And somewhere in here, I have an extra Skeletor head. Maybe. If I don't, I'm really surprised. Orko! Got an extra Tila head. Oh no! Oh, okay. If I can't find one, I'll just rip one off of the other Skeletor. Oh, what a mess. As bad as a kid's toy box. Can't believe there's no Skeletor head in here. See, I got an extra 80s He-Man head waiting to be customized. You know, I think I pulled Skeletor's head apart and did something with it. I don't know what. Let's go ahead and set the extras aside for right now. And we will just use Skeletor. So, here's a really cool custom you guys could do. Really easy. Is basically pop off Hordak's head and pop on Skeletor's head, and you got yourself a Skeletor that is supposed to be like Horde Apprentice Skeletor. If you want to take it a step further, you could just rip off the armor off this Skeletor, that's this Hordak, and replace it with this armor here. And there you guys got yourself a really cool looking Apprentice Skeletor. There we go. Look at that. So that's kind of a really fun custom to make. That way, you know, you can have the Apprentice Skeletor out there, you know, learning how to do magic from Hordak and stuff. That is true, James. Yep, Scareglow's head would look cool. Yeah, I actually prefer him with Skeletor's head as well. Anyway, let's go ahead and put Skeletor back together the way he's supposed to be so I can count him as my top 11 later on in my countdown. Skeletor. Skeletor was actually my first figure I ever got of any of my He-Man figures when I was a kid. And I was at the store looking. They had Faker. They were sold out of He-Man. It's what I really wanted. And they had a couple other figures too. And I almost got Faker because he looks like He-Man. But I got Skeletor. And I remember taking my Skeletor home. I was at my sister's house. She's older. And I was playing with him, having him climb all over the couch like he was mountain climbing everything. And she just got some new speakers for her stereo. So I was having him lift the heavy speaker box. You know, and the body was so tight figure-wise that he could hold the corner of the box up like he was just a mammoth, hulking, blue skull-faced creature. And then on the inside of the speaker box, they had these foam wedges that were made to hold the speakers so they don't get ruined. Well, I took 2 of those foam wedges and put them together, and it made a cool little stone throne for Skeletor. So he was able to sit in his stone throne that I made out of these foam protector pieces for her speakers from her stereo system, and it was pretty cool. It was a lot of fun. And then, of course, I ended up getting an ET figure, so I started switching Skeletor's armor with ET's armor, and put, you know, Skeletor's armor on ET. Of course, ET doesn't have any armor, so Skeletor didn't get anything in return, but it was kind of cool. I had my evil ET that I made. Now, if you do the swap, make sure you also pull this off too and put this on Skeletor's arm as well to do the full change. And maybe even swap out the boots to give him the Horde boots too. In fact, you could actually swap out the whole bottom section until he has black pants on. So that'd be kind of a fun way to do it too. All right, let's go ahead and break into his accessories. See what he comes with. All right, he has that same lame shield that we saw back in the 80s that the tab always broke on, which was supposed to kind of represent some kind of bat flying thing, which for some reason only fit on this side. Because the way it's angled, if you put it on this side, it's backwards unless you have it on the inside of his arm. I guess you could put it on the inside of his arm, but that just doesn't make a lot of sense. But the problem is if you put this on his arm, now you have less room for his crossbow, which I guess can go on either side because of the way it's hooked on there. So let's go ahead and set the crossbow up. Ooh. Power crossbow. So I never understood why they never had an actual handle for these crossbows to hang on to. But anyway, let's go ahead and test it out. Let's pick Furface here. And let's try the button and see if we can get him to knock him down. Let's do a little zoom in on here. Okay. Dun dun dun. Oh. 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 Not enough force to do any damage and way too much effort to push that button in. Ugh. There we go. All right. So, it doesn't quite work like the 80s one does. It's too hard to push that button down. I can imagine some kid trying to push that down. It just would not work very well. So, anyway, there's Hordak. Let's put him next to She-Ra so you guys can see. Ta-da! There they are. The power couple. All right. I'm going to go ahead and put him in the extras box because he is not one of my top 11. Bum, bum, bum. Let's check out the questions you guys have. Wow, you guys are writing like crazy. Gotham Knight got his first figure wait for Christmas way back then, and they were Skeletor, Faker. That's my Karen's. Yep, yeah. He-Man was sold out everywhere. It was crazy. It was like Turbo Man, Roboto. All right, so my next least favorite is Stratos. Yes, Stratos is my next least favorite. Even though he does have some cool features, I mean, he doesn't even have any weapons. I know in the comic it shows him shooting blasts from his wrists, but, you know, really there's not a lot that he can do. So let's take a look. It shows that put the wrist guards on there, clip on the wings, and he can do the twist as well. And it shows extra figures in the line. Now check out the cool graphic. Now this is a graphic to get you to buy more. So we can see we got Stratos, we got Stratos buddies there that are not gray, and then we have one of his either wives or girlfriends. There you go, or sister, depending on which version you go with. Hebrew, you don't like flying monkeys. No, Stratos is okay. He'll actually be one of my go-to guys. I like him better than Mechaneck. But out of the choices I have left, yeah, he's the least favorite out of these choices I have left. So, but yeah, he's not bad. He's not like Hordak, you know, where I don't like him that much at all. I do still kind of like him. He's just not one of my top 11. Maybe he's in my top 20 somewhere. So that comes with the same comic, Sneak Attack, and really cool, awesome graphics in there. Same ones we saw last time. And they got more instructions, parts that are removable. Let's take a look and see. Ta-da! It's basically the same thing, but it shows Stratos instead of... It's funny, it doesn't show the armor being removable, though. I think that's just so weird, the wings separately. And the only accessories he has is his wings. Let's go ahead and cut him out of here. All right. Stratos. Now, I think it's cool they call him Stratos because it's like stratosphere, which means, you know, that one layer in the sky. And it's kind of a clever name for him. I thought that was always clever of Mattel to call him Stratos. Now, looking at this, I can already see I'm not a fan of the new head. The new head just looks kind of weird. Let me turn this light on so you guys can see what I'm talking about. I mean, his beard is just, you know, looks like he has like a tube head or something, and then his beard, like he's wearing some kind of strange helmet. Yeah, it goes pretty high up in there too. So let's go ahead and get his wings on before we start altering him. Look, they fixed his shoulders. You don't have the weird gap anymore like you did on some of the other figures that were released in the first wave. So that's cool. You know, this would be kind of fun to make a Hordak custom in lighter gray. You know, you can kind of mix around some parts and do a light gray custom. One thing I think it's really cool is even though he doesn't have boots, they still have a boot cut over his fur leg and make it so you can still pull it apart. When they made classics, if they had a fur leg like this, they'd make it one piece so you could not do a lot of customization. All right, let's get these wings out and get them on them. Yeah, the shelves are empty here as well. I can't find them either around me either, ME. But I got these on Big Bad Toy Store. Okay, right off the bat, I can see these wings are small. These are itty bitty. Look at the size difference in these wings. So, you know what I like about these small wings? I'm going to have to get into the Stratos. These wings might work pretty good for making custom figures with classics for some of the girl figures. So that'd be kind of cool. Now, these hook on differently. It shows they actually hook on right above the wrist instead of on the wrist itself. There we go. And they do fit nice and tight, so that's cool. So you don't have to worry about them falling off so easy. Let's just go ahead and stick them on there. And there we go. There is our Stratos. Now I have a flight stand here, because you got to have a flight stand when you have a Stratos. Otherwise, you know, he's not flying. Let's go ahead and stick him on that flight stand. and get him into some cool flying pose. There we go, Stratos. For Eternia! Da-da-da-da-da. That's funny, his backpack's really small too. Oh, that's it. I am buying another Stratos. This backpack is going to go on the female figures for classics. That is just the right size. So cool. So, looks like I'm going to get at least 1 or 2 more Stratos just to make the backpack for my female classics avian figures. Alright, so let's see what you guys are saying about it. You know, that is a good point, Sportimus. In fact, I happen to have one right here. Doo-doo. And I've already opened one up, and I've purposely pulled out the parts just so I could try it on this Stratos. So I'm glad you said that, because that is the plan right now. So let's go ahead and see if we can jazz this Stratos up. Ugh. So first of all, let's pull off his armor. Now what's cool is it's like the armor from the 80s, where it actually is almost like it's put on backwards, where it has the bra straps in the front instead of in the back. Where we see with most figures like He-Man, the bra straps were in the back instead of in the front. See, like Man-at-Arms there. I guess He-Man doesn't have the bra straps anymore. The old one did from the 80s. So let's go ahead and get this off of him. It's funny, I did not know they looked like bra straps until after I was married and my wife asked me for help one time. And I'm like, hey, that's just like He-Man's armor. That's so crazy. And then it all hit me. I felt really kind of awkward at that moment. It's like, oh, he's been wearing a bra this whole time and I had no idea. So for the Classics one, which this is not actually the Classics armor, this is actually from Rey Mysterio. And it is a different connection. And so you can see the wrestling figures, they actually use the classic parts for a lot of the figures. They didn't actually make new parts, which I was surprised because we were going to make Stratos anyway. You can already see that already looks better. That already looks better. Now to get these on are a little more of a task. So let's pull his hand off. Let's see if we can slide this on over. I may have to heat it up first. Yep, it's going to require a little bit of heat to do this. Maybe, maybe not. Let's give it one more shot and see. It's called a bro. Oh. Yes, yes, I know. I am a big nerd. Yep. I know it's sad, huh? But luckily, I fooled my girlfriend long enough. She didn't know I was a nerd until after we were married, so whew. She had no idea I was a nerd until my kids were older. I had her fooled for years. So, and she's still married to me, so that worked out really good. Okay, so that's going to require some heat to fix that. I will be right back. Hey, pretty light. Can you boil me some water in that thing and then bring me a cupful? Thanks. All right. So my beautiful wife is going to boil some water for me and bring it to me. So I won't have to leave you guys too long. We're going to set him aside. Before we do, though, I am going to also do a head swap on him because I am just not feeling that head. And I think I got an extra Stratos head somewhere in here. There it is. So I happen to have a classic Stratos head, which of course looks way better than the head he comes with. And it's too small to fit on there, so I'll have to wait till I get that hot water, and then I'll have to put that on there. That stinks. I had him throwing in my pile of stuff, and looks like some of the paint got rubbed off his face because I've been digging through those figures so much. No. Let's go ahead and set him aside. He's not in my top 11, but he's still cool. It's like his forearms are a little bit longer. It must have been a Beastman thing. They made his forearms just a little bit longer than the regular figures, which is kind of a fun deal. Yeah, they did. Look at that. If you take a look at He-Man's arms compared to Stratos' arms, there's a little bit longer arms there to give that ape look, because the same arms they used with Beastman. That is a cool little touch. Good job, Mattel. I can't believe I didn't notice that on Beastman. Yep, you can see it there. He's got the elongated forearms. That's cool. So cool. All right, let's go ahead and yeah, I am a really lucky guy. I cannot believe I got the wife I got. Even my kids ask me all the time. My older son, he always says, "Dad, how in the world did you get Mom?" I'm like, I don't know. I have no clue how that happened. All right, so my next least favorite out of what's left over is Battle Armor Skeletor. Now, Battle Armor Skeletor would normally rank higher than this, except for the way they redid his damage, battle damage. Not a fan of it. I do like the cool new head here, though, and I do like the fact that you can swap out his hand. And I wish they would have gave us a full sword. We already have the half sword from the other thing. The shield's a nice touch. Let's go ahead and check out the back and open this guy up and see what's different. Now, first of all, oh man, the art is so cool. Look at that. And they show the full giant chest like they had in the 80s, which I wish they would have made for this one. It's like, oh, they even show us the cool chest feature, but they don't give it to us. And they show Evelyn. They show how it works. In fact, even in the artwork, they show the full-size chest. So I wonder if they were planning on making a full-size... Oh yeah, look, even the artwork for He-Man shows the full-size chest. So I wonder if they were planning on doing a full-size chest and something went wrong and they were unable to do it by engineering or something. That would stink if you were the guy who designed these figures and you're all excited to release them and then engineering changes your design and makes this small little boop miniature chest piece. Yeah, not cool. So these are the deluxe figures. The deluxe figures do cost more. And what's funny is the battle armors are deluxe figures, but so is Clamp Champ. He's also considered deluxe figure, so he also costs more as well. And you guys know me. I'm waiting for my Clamp Champ so I can make my Hebrew. Now, Clamp Champ, believe it or not, is not in my top 11 either. All right, let's take a look at the comic, and it is a different comic. Look at that. Battle Armor Reborn. And he has stuff to look at there. So we got a whole different comic. Now, there's Clamp Champ. That's cool. They show the robots, too. That's interesting. Are they going to release Origins robots? They got Ram Man in there. King Randor. No way. In some kind of machine, it looks like the attack track, maybe. Oh, that looks so cool. So cool. All right, let's take a look at some of your questions. Honest Dave. Hey, thanks for joining us, man. His head does look weird, JB. You are right. It's a new head they designed, so he looks angry and mean and ready to go. So they gave us a new head. And a lot of these figures, when they release this new sets, it looks like, for the deluxe figure sets, they're giving us extra parts. So like when we get the Battle Armor He-Man, which actually right now is sitting in my pile of loot in my Big Bad Toy Store. I just don't want to ship with just one thing in there. They do have the extra head in there too. It's funny, after seeing Stratos, his arm just looks short now. That's weird. All right, so let's go ahead and break it down. He has foot articulation, boot cut, knee, the same old stuff, twist here, twist there. You can see though here, when you put that arm down, look how much of the top of the shoulder you can see. I almost wonder if this is actually built differently. Let's pull his arm off. Take a look. Before I pull his arm off, let's see if the directions show his arm comes off. Actually, it does not show his arm comes off. Look at that. So that's probably why they made the directions, so you don't rip the arm off when it's not made to come off. which really bums me out because if the arm can't come off anyway, then why did they make this barrel so small? They could have redesigned that whole section there and made the barrel bigger so the arm could actually come off. Or, since the arms are going to come off anyway, you don't need it to come off. So let's go ahead and test it out. Ka-ching. Ka-ching. There we go. Now, of course, you wouldn't use your finger to do it. You have to use a battle axe. That is the only true way to do it correctly. I know sometimes they show a sword slashing it, but come on. You can look at those marks, and those are battle axe marks. So let's go ahead and do this. All right, He-Man. Time to do some damage. Oh, and he did a double crack already. See, you can just see the battle axe just fits in there kind of nicely. You know that is the weapon that he used. Oh, my wife's here with the hot water. Let's go ahead and slide us aside, and let's go ahead and do some... Oh, can you get my spoon too? The black one. Thanks. So let's go ahead and get Stratos with his wings and parts before this water cools down. Let's drop his head in there. Let's take a look at the questions while we're waiting to do this. Yes, the boot knife is the huge selling point, Otis. That's what I like most. I heard that there actually is a variant figure for the Battle Armor He-Man. You are right. Some have paint on the boots, some don't. And I'm kind of curious which one I'm going to end up getting. And of course, whichever one I get, I'll be searching everywhere for the other one. All right, let's go ahead and try to slide these on now that I got them heated up. Let's see if they work. So, there we go. Oh, I got the wrong wing on the wrong arm. That's not going to work. There we go. That fits on there. Let me go ahead and put the hand back on. Let's get the other one going on here. Let me aim this down so you guys can see what I'm doing here. So the trick is to get this slid over. And of course it cooled down as I spent too long messing around with the other wing. Yeah, I hope I get the painted boots as well. Some of them have the really crazy eyes too, where they miss the paint on the eyes. And I've seen that a lot with the Battle Armor He-Mans. So I'm really hoping I don't get stuck with one. It's not bad if you get it from the stores, you can return it. But if you get it from a Big Bad Toy Store, it's just not as easy to return. Stuff like that. All right, now I got to find a way to fish that head out of that glass. So I dumped it in there. Hooray. I got it out of there. There we go. Much better. That is the way my Stratos is going to stay. That looks way better. All right, you guys. Give me your opinion if you think it looks way better as well. But I'm probably going to get a couple more Stratoses, though, just so I can have a regular one, too. And, again, not my top 11, so he goes in the extra box for now. Nope, still not my top 11. Thanks, JB, for the question. All right, so let's go ahead and get back to our Battle Armor Skeletor that I'm becoming more and more disappointed with every second I look at him. So, arms are not removable. Which stinks is because I was thinking it'd be cool to, you know, make like a battle armor faker out of him really easily. But you're going to have to take apart the arms here, it looks like, and that'd probably work. Or if you want to do a battle armor or anything else, now you're stuck because the arms don't come off. It's like, really? Come on, Mattel. If you're going to make the arms stuck on forever, at least fix this to be the right size and change the engineering of the pins going in. Oh well. Let's go ahead and pull out the other pieces in the box. Shield, head, the Havoc staff, which of course was stolen from the faceless one, which is Evelyn's dad. All right, so if you want now, you can go ahead and finally fix your open mouth Skeletor with the new head. Ugh, that is tight. There we go. Ta-da! Now he looks more like the Skeletor we know and love from the 80s. And you can also give him the cool shield too. That's probably about all I'm going to take from him. Now, I wish they would have made the boots different between these two Skeletors. I wish they would have gave him bare feet and gave him solid feet, just like we saw with Classics. Now, what's cool is they are different. These are more purple, these are more blue. We can see that or not in the camera. These are painted, these are molded in plastic. So if you want to go with a more purplish look, you could use these boots, which is great because if you decide to make a Filmation Skeletor, they're more purplish. So now it will match better with this head if you decide to go with a Filmation style Skeletor, which I'll probably be making my Filmation Skeletor again in a little bit, and then I'll be able to switch out the boots to match so it's the right color purple. So there's some good features with this guy. That's one of them, is being able to steal some parts from him. But again, he's going in the extras box. I'll just probably use a lot of him for spare parts. Battle Brawl He-Man. Yeah, I'm not always sure, Dante, about that. It's kind of weird about how they switched that up for Trapjaw, but not for the battle armor. All right, so let's see. Who is my next least favorite? You know what? I'm going to throw this hand in extras pile. My next least favorite, still a cool figure though, is Ninjor. Ninjor. Now Ninjor has some really cool features. You know, I'm going to dump this water before I accidentally dump it over. Hold on. I will be right back. Thanks for playing.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know where you stood.
I ended up using a screwdriver to fish it out. All right, thanks for waiting, you guys. So let's go ahead and open up Ninjor soon. So let's take a look at him first. If you look at him, he has a Skeletor body to him, and he has some extra parts in the back, it looks like. And it shows, and again, some awesome artwork of Ninjor fighting King Randor and, of course, Clamp Champ. And you can see it shows him his weapons, shows you can have him do the twist as well, and some other figures in the line. Let's go ahead and bust him out of here. So Ninjor is cool, but he's, like I said, he's just not my top 11. All right. Now Ninjor originally came out late in the line, so I was already done collecting before he came out, so I never actually owned my own Ninjor. And again, you have a Sneak Attack comic that shows Ninjor, so you know how to use him. And again, that awesome Hordak, I wish we would have got as a figure. Why, Mattel? Show us the stuff in the comic and then don't give it to us. All right. Cool, cool. And it shows again what can be removed. And now I know why they have these. They have these because, like I said, because the arms don't come off on the battle armor one, and kids would be yanking on them. So that's probably why they had to make these, so they knew which ones did not remove. So that kind of makes sense. And again, here's the battle armor one without the arms being gray. So you don't have some oath kid grabbing and ripping the arm off. All right, so Ninjor comes with an arsenal of weapons. Now, one of the weapons that Ninjor has is a bow and arrow, and it's kind of cool. It's a compound bow and has a scope on it and everything else like that for distance. You know, of course, he's assassin, right? For distance shooting, and it's always been kind of a fun piece. But I never liked the fact that it was one piece. So on my Shapeways, I actually made one that actually has it separate, two different pieces. Now, this is bigger than the one on my Shapeways because they made this bigger than the Classics one. The one for Classics is the exact shape that you need for that. Look, they made actually a plastic chain. No more paint scraped off. Look at that. Someone must have heard me. So he has his... Is that a katana? Oh, ooh, he's got a place to store his weapons. Look at that. Okay, I gotta try this. Oh, look at that. That is cool. I think I like it better the other way. And then I guess his nunchucks go here, I'm guessing. And I don't know where his bow and arrow goes. I guess he just holds out all the time. I am ready for battle at all times. And I imagine this goes in his left hand. Maybe not. Let's try it in his right. I guess it goes in his right. It fits better that way. But the scope's on the wrong side. I guess he has to lean it over. There he goes. Oh. All right, so Ninjor is sporting the cool dragon on the front, which I've always liked that kind of look with the cool dragon. He only comes with one head, though, and it is mast head, which is, you know, a COVID-friendly mask. So he's ready to come to Earth. And then he has his armor that is removable, and it's soft rubber, just like that of Hordak. Now, one figure I love to, or one custom I love to do with this figure, and you probably have already guessed, and that is, I like to take this figure and swap out some parts with none other than Skeletor. And I like to use Skeletor's parts on him and call him Nightmare Skeletor. You know, that way he's like this stealthy Skeletor looking guy. You know, ready to sneak up and attack. And that's kind of a fun way to do this. There we go. Nightmare Skeletor. Da-da-da! How about that? Yes, Hordak's red teeth would go good at this body if I liked Hordak. But since I don't like Hordak, he gets to stay in the extra box, and he is not going to be cool customized. So, but since Skeletor is my first figure, he gets all the cool stuff. Because, you know, he's got to go up against He-Man. So he needs the extra help. All right, let's put Ninjor back together. And again, Ninjor's cool. Don't get me wrong. He's just not my top 11. But I really like the fact they put all that stuff to store his weapons actually on his armor. That is a cool idea. You can see there's a slight curve to this too, so this is the way it's supposed to go in, I'm sure. I wonder if his bow and arrow fits in there too. It's compound bow. See if you can put it around him, that'd be cool too. So you can wear it on his, let's see if you can hold both halves of the chucks. Ugh. Look at that. He is ready for battle now. He-Man, watch out. He was trained by IP Man. Ho! Use the rectangular tab in the bow. Okay, let's try and see. Oh, who was that said that? Sportimus. That is so cool. So you can store either the sword there or the bow. I was wondering what that rectangular tab was for. That makes sense now. Wish I would have had 2 spots for this to store. But I guess you just kind of wind it up under the bow and jam it on in there. Huh. Okay. Way better. Spartamus, thank you. All right, I'm going to put him in the extras box. Goodbye, Ninjor. All right, so we are down to 2 figures left to open. This is a hard one. I really like both these figures a lot. Ram Man, Tri-Klops. Deluxe figure, not deluxe figure. Well, out of these 2, it's a pretty hard toss-up. I am going to say my next least favorite. Let's see, Playmates could never give us little chains for Mickey's nunchucks. There you go. Then you could have Mikey have the cool nunchucks, the chains in it. So, out of these 2, this is tough. They are so close in my mind. I've never divided these by which one of the 2 I liked better than the other. I've always just had my favorite good guys and my favorite bad guys. I think because I've waited so long for Ram Man when it came to classics, I'm going to open Tri-Klops first. But not saying that he is better than Ram Man. Like I said, it's really hard to decide. I think Tri-Klops is a little cooler, but I'm just going to wait on Ram Man being he's the deluxe figure. So I think he actually ranks higher in my mind, but we're going to hold off on Ram Man. Okay, let's go ahead and open him up. Oh, back of the box. So, again, cool artwork. Laser blast. Shooting through, smashing stuff. Who's he shooting? Is that He-Man on Battle Cat? Includes a comic, his head twists, and he twists. Alright, let's go ahead and rip him open. You know what? I am going to do these in order. You're going back, Tri-Klops, because you are more favored than Ram Man. Let's go ahead and open Ram Man first. Back of the box, we see Ram Man doing what he does best, and that is ramming. And you can see he's ramming a new vehicle that we don't have yet for this toy line. Are we going to actually get that cool Skeletor Razor vehicle? That would be cool. Ram Man does have a lot of fun features, and it shows there's the fun features there. Now I wonder, does he actually bounce up like that? Or is it, you know, I mean, obviously he was never used to bounce originally. He was actually supposed to, you know, knock things over when you push the button on his back of his heel. Well, let's go ahead and bust this deluxe figure open. Now, they did give us a head we've never seen before, right here where he has a face mask on there. And again, I'm sure it's so we can travel to Earth because of COVID. That's got to be the reason. But I did like in Classics when they gave us the unhelmeted head. That was really fun to see Ram Man with his little steel beanie cap on underneath that helmeted head. That was really kind of cool. Now, he does have some other extra weapons we've never seen before. And they give us the other deluxe comic we've already seen. And that is the Battle Armor Reborn comic. And of course, Ram Man is featured a lot in here. Actually, it's like all the deluxe figures are, so I'm guessing we're probably going to also see the same comic with Clamp Champ. That's what I'm guessing when we get him. Let's see what's removable. His head and his arms, and that's it. So no leg removal. He has this cool axe that we've seen many times before, and a brand new axe that I believe combines with the other axe to make one giant, massive destruction weapon. Oh, look at the size of this fist. Boom, 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 boom. You guys ever see that meme with that little kid on the beach going, eh, like that? Making that face? That's what this fist reminds me of, like a little kid's fist. See? It looks just like it, a little on the chubby side. Okay. Where are those scissors? All right. So, looks like he only has one extra hand, and it's just to swap out this fist hand on this side. Let's see his arms come off. I got it. Oh, yeah, look at that. Okay. It is time to see the ridiculousness. Actually, you know what? I'm going to pull apart a different He-Man. I do not want to ruin my cool 2-pack. Extra He-Man, where are you? There you are. This is extra He-Man. He gets everything tested on him. Would you look at that? It almost fits on there. You can give He-Man some nice, big, bulky arms. Which means you can also give Ram Man some regular He-Man arms if you choose to. That's kind of cool. Alright, let's get back to what we were doing before I started messing around, having fun with the swappability of these toys. All right, so look at that. Oh, I mean, it's a little ridiculous. I'm kind of tempted to make a little piece just to go on the bottom of this axe. That just is just that, so I can make this battle axe longer if I choose to, instead of making this spinny twirly double axed monstrosity. I mean, it is kind of cool. I love the way his elbow bends. That's pretty cool. All right, let's go ahead and do a head swap on him. There we go. And let's try out his cool feature. What's neat is his knees bend. This knee's stuck. I'm not going to force it. I'm going to have to take it in and see if I can get those to bend. They're both stuck. But, wow, that is one tight spring. Oh, looks like he has a little defect down there. No, not a defect. It's where they poured the looks like where they put the oh, that's weird. That's funny. The articulation point is in the middle of the knee, and it's supposed to bend too, but like I said, his joints are frozen, and we know how that happens with frozen joints, right? They can break pretty easy. But let's go ahead and push him in there, and he does lock into place. They show how to unlock them. Where are those directions? Oh, you push again to spring into action. So he actually does jump, which means you can't really knock him into another figure very easily. It does make it kind of hard. Okay, Beastman, you get to be our guy. We get to attack again. Let's see if we can figure out how to make him punch out. Oh, let's try that again. Okay. So I'm going to pull it back, hang on to his feet, and release. Ooh. Oh, that was pretty uneventful. All right. Let's get a little closer. Oh, I missed him again. There we go. Ha! Ha! Poor beast man. All right. So, there we go. There is the awesome Ram Man with removable hand and new hand. It looks like the kid on the beach. They made the fingers so chubby. That is just ridiculous looking. Does he have a... Nope, no way to store the axe in the back. All right. He is one of my top 11. So, what's the question? That Ram Man's glad his legs aren't stuck together. Yep. It's funny. He's always reminding me of a Santa Claus guy. I mean, he's got this big old red thing with a black shiny belt and big black shiny boots and green pants. He is Christmas in He-Man. Yep. Santa helped dress him. All right. It's funny. This red is more orangish red than the original red we used to have. It was like really red. All right, Ram Man. There you go. Part of my top 11. One figure left to open, and then we'll get into the vehicles. Yeah, we should repaint him as Santa. That'd be hilarious. All right, on to Tri-Klops. Tri-Klops. So Tri-Klops, one of my top 11, as you guys have already figured out. And you can see here, I already showed this a few minutes ago. There he is blasting He-Man and Battle Cat. And of course his features he has. Let's just get into it and open him up. So... no silver sticker arm bracers. That is true, Fastafan. I'm glad they actually painted him, but you can buy little stickers to go on there instead. So let's take a look. We got the Sneak Attack comic, which we've kind of already expected we would get. And let's see what's removable on him. Remove and swap parts. Dun dun dun. And there you go. I guess in a way it makes sense because it shows that it comes apart right there. So Mattel, I apologize. I guess this does make sense now because it does point to where the attach point is, and it shows the hands as well and the head and the boots. So I take back everything I thought and said about you, Mattel, a few minutes ago. Oh, so cool. So cool. Dun dun dun. All right, so you guys already know this guy is always an awesome guy to use to make a custom He-Man because he has the orange bracers and, you know, it's just kind of a fun thing. I used one a long time ago to make a scuba diving He-Man. So he had the black shorts and stuff like that. And I literally sanded off the boots a long time ago and made bare feet for my scuba diving He-Man. So his head comes off, which is cool. Because we know with the 80s one, there's no way to get that head off very easily. The eye spins and it's not stuck like the Super 7. We got the blue eye with the eyebrow across there. We have the first red eye. And then we have the blaster eye. So I just pretend like the blue eye would blast a bright light. Is that what it was? Yeah. Yeah, and he could see in the dark with this one. That's what it was. This one could see through objects, and this one would do the laser blast. That's how I just pretend. So this one could see in the dark. This one would see through objects, and this one would blast the laser. So it looks like it'd be a laser blast eye. So that's what I was pretending I was a kid. So when he's in the cave in that one comic and he's fighting Battle Cat, he's using his night vision eye. Night vision! And then see through objects. Skeletor, your bone is broken. Or blast. So, again, he has removable armor. He has a spot for his sword, just like we saw in the 80s, which was always a fun attachment for the 80s figures. He's got his sword we've seen so many times before, but it looks like they may have made it a little bit longer. Let's cut this out and take a look and see. Ugh. I guess maybe I should have just pulled it out and undid the tape. The problem is I'm just so excited to see this stuff. It's so cool. All right. Oh man, it just fits beautifully in there. Shink. And then fits in his hand nicely. It's got a nice tall guard on it. That is cool. Now, I believe when they made Blade for the movie, it was based loosely on Tri-Klops, because we see Tri-Klops as a master swordsman in the comics. And so swordplay is his main thing. He is like really good at swordplay, better than most of the other masters. And that's how he defeats He-Man temporarily, is because his swordplay is so good. So there we go. That's why I think Blade was based on him, but it'd be easier to make a guy with a normal head instead of this cool spinning eyeball thingamajiggy. So I think that's why we saw Blade in the movie instead of Tri-Klops. So to me, Blade is a variation of Tri-Klops. So there you go. All right, so I now have my 11 top figures. And here they are. I have, of course, I got Flea Man and Man-at-Arms and Teela, because they were the main three that we always saw in the comics that were always doing all the cool bad guy stuff, or good guy stuff, I mean. And then, of course, we got Ram Man and Manny Faces. So these are my 5 good guys that I've always thought of my top 11. And, you know, Manny Faces, you can't go wrong. His head turns. He does all kinds of things. He is a Masters of the Universe figure. And Ram Man is just so much fun pushing the button on his back. So that's why these are my top 5. Now, when it comes to Teela, you got to have 2. You got to have the one that is the one that gives He-Man his armor and stuff, and the battling Teela as well. So that's why I have 2 Teelas. So you have the battling Teela, and you have the one that's the magical Teela. So, and you notice I have a different head on her, just so that they can tell them apart. So, those are the good guys. My top 5. Not top 5, but the top 11. For bad guys, my top 11 actually are 6 bad guys. And they are Skeletor, Evelyn, Merman, Trapjaw, Tri-Klops, and Beastman. So, just like with the other guys, the top 3 that we had in the comics before was always Skeletor, Beastman, and Merman. I always liked the idea of having Evil Lyn there as well. And then, of course, Tri-Klops and Trapjaw. They just fit so nicely, and they're so cool. So those are my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, 6 bad guys. And that's my top 11. Is those 5 heroes and these 6 bad guys. And that's it. Now, honorable mentions. One we haven't got yet is Cyclone. When I was a kid, if I was going to grab only one figure, my mom said, just take one to the store with you or out when we're going out. I would grab Cyclone because he's fun to play with alone. You know, you can spin him around and have him fly around the car and stuff. So another honorable mention is, of course, Zodak. Not in the top 11, but he's an honorable mention because he was one of the first ones I had as well. Another honorable mention, which I never had as a kid, but is so cool, is Scareglow. So even though they're not my top 11, they do get a place of honor in the extra top 11 box. And another one that gets to stay in the top 11 box is Stratos as well. So those 4 will get to also hang out with the top 11. And when Faker comes out, he gets to join them as well, even though they're not in the top 11. But they are close enough to it because they are pretty cool figures as well. So those guys get to go live with the top 11. You notice there's no Prince Adam. There's no Orko. So let me tell you, before I open my Battle Cat and my other things I have going on here, here's how I envision He-Man. Okay? And I know at first you're going, what? No Prince Adam? Yeah, no Prince Adam. I really like the mini comics from a long time ago. And so I used to envision that He-Man was, this guy with no armor on, and he was just going around and, like Tarzan type of thing. And then he meets the Tila with snake armor on, and of course she was green in the comic. And then he saves her, and so she gives him his techno armor. And his techno armor provides a force field to protect him from being attacked so easily. And she gives him, of course, his battle axe, and he learns about the power sword. But he doesn't wield the sword. He just learned about it. So then he gets the cordite crystal in his chest that gives him more strength. So the cordite crystal gives him strength. So he has his techno armor, which is a technology thing, not a magic thing, to give him a force field, his force field armor, and the cordite crystal gives him extra strength. Skeletor learns about the cordite crystal, so he makes his own cordite crystal, so he's also stronger now too. But not as strong as He-Man, because He-Man, of course, is He-Man. So he's even stronger than Skeletor, but, they both have the special armor. And then, of course, they battle all the time for possession of the swords. So Skeletor wants to get the Sword of Power, both halves. No, I lost the other half of the Sword of Power. No, I've lost the Sword of Power. Huh. Anyway, I know I got it in my pile of stuff down here. Pile of stuff. Oh, I see a silver blade. There it is. Hooray. So we have this Sword of Power, and it has the 2 halves. And basically these 2 halves, when they combine together, then it gives the holder of the power swords the ultimate power to enter Castle Grayskull, get the secrets, and channel the power of Grayskull. So when He-Man gets the power swords, he becomes Super Saiyan He-Man. So he, can channel the power with even just half of it. Just the half sword, he can channel some power of Grayskull, the silver one. And that's how he gets super strong, is by channeling the power with the swords, with his techno armor and his cordite crystal. Makes him extra super strong so he can battle Skeletor. So that's kind of my storyline that I use. So even though this Prince Adam's cool, no Prince Adam. No Prince Adam. Sorry, you guys. Hey, thanks, Bunyan. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think the film should be that way too. That would be awesome if the film was that way, where it shows him, starting in the jungle, working his way up, saving her, getting the techno armor, finding out the cordite crystal, eventually getting the power swords, becoming, the full He-Man power with the swords, having his hair all glowing and flowing and stuff while he's getting charged up, giving that whole Super Saiyan look. That would be cool. And of course, he's got to have a boot knife in the movie too. That would be fun. All right. So let's go ahead and what should I open next? You know what? You guys have already seen me open Battle Cat quite a few times. So I don't know if I'm going to open Battle Cat. Panther's just a Battle Cat that's purple. So let's get to the Land Shark. And then I'll probably call it the quits after I do the Land Shark. Now, my goal with this Land Shark is not to work with the Origins figures. As cool as that would be, my goal is to make it work with the classics. if I can make it work with the classics, I will be a happy camper. So that is what my plan is. So let's go ahead and get this Land Shark open and see if we can't figure out a way to make this work for classics. So first of all, here's the back of the box. And we have some cool artwork on the back. And it shows Skeletor just cruising through at a pretty high pace of just kicking up dirt. These guys are kind of jogging and running. They can't even keep up with them. So you know this thing is traveling at a pretty quick clip. And little volcano thing open here. And we got Fisto. Oh, Fisto's cool. Not in my top 11, but definitely in my top 20. And then we have Man-at-Arms sitting there. And some cool dragon-type creature thing. And Stinkor. Also in my top 20, but not my top 11. All right. So let's go ahead and get this open. And let's take a look at it. Oh, look at these creatures. Look at that guy. Ah! So, they show Castle Grayskull with the sorceress in white. Oh, there goes the box. See, they got extra tape on there just to make it a little harder. Shink. Oh, I missed. Cut tape, cut. Ugh. There we go. Oh, they got it on the top too. Should have known that. Of course, it'll be symmetrical. Oop. There we go. Let's go ahead and open this bad boy up and take a look at that land shark. Now that's interesting. They got pieces down below to make it fit in the box better. Look at that, that's funny. So to fit it in the box better, they purposely didn't build it all the way. It looks like it's built all the way until you get ready to pull it out, and it's like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, cool. That is a really cool storage device. Actually, this thing has a little bit of girth to it. That's pretty crazy. I did not expect it to be... Oh, lose my internet. Am I back, you guys? All right. Is it back? Sorry about that. I didn't know I lost my internet. Oh, I may have to... Yeah, it's getting pretty herky-jerky on my side, you guys. I'm going to cut the feed. I'm going to restart it. Okay, let's try this again. See if I can get this to work. So, yeah, that is really shaky looking. So, the bad news is you cannot hold these controls and sit back at the same time. He is too short to fit back here, even the Origins one. Just kind of interesting. Now, as you move this around, it looks like the... Internet is dying. I guess I'll have to get something else besides America Online. Let's see if that's working. All right, you guys, I'm going to cut the feed. Thanks for watching, and maybe I'll have another live feed later on tonight. Bye, you guys. Sorry about the internet.